This is the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
Hi, everybody.
Good morning.
We kicked the show off today with a couple of likely lads who just kind of wandered in. One of them is our producer Amy's husband. They'd been up since 2 a.m. because Tottenham won the Europa.
Oh, there was tears in eyes and everything overnight. It's been a long time.
Emotional time. It was also his birthday. So
This is them at the pub at 5 a.m. in Shenton Park.
yeah.
How good. Winners are grinners. On the other side of that, Manchester United fans would be...
Devoed.
they would be very upset this morning. Mm-hmm. Hey, we also talk about shared accommodation.
Well, the private versus public thing. When you think you're in private, you do things differently to you would if you're in public. You hear a story from Rachel that's going to make you want to reach for the spray and wipe.
Caitlin Bassett as well dropped in, had a chat with her.
And we caught up with Pav as well.
This is Nathan, Nat and Shaun on Nova 937.
It's 6:04. Nathan, Shaun, Ross is here today too.
Morning.
Morning, Ross. How are you?
Good. I think we'll get to him shortly. But
Yes.
we got some guests in the studio.
We have.
Two of the shonkiest looking blokes I've ever seen in my life.
Apparently there's
The morning's just getting underway.
Yes.
There's a big football game this morning.
You'll find out more shortly, but it's a real treat.
And one of the guests said, all right, don't swear. So
I
was it me?
still got to back him in.
Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
Hey, this goes off tomorrow.
Oh, my God.
Somebody's going to win this tomorrow. Chrissy Swan will be ringing somebody back tomorrow afternoon.
Now we're talking about going and seeing Bruno Mars in Las Vegas, Ross.
That's right. You got to listen out for the Bruno Mars songs after 9 with Sam as one of the last chances to get involved. Shaun, you just mentioned something off air that made me think of Vegas. They're big on limos, aren't they?
They're big on limos.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone's like, hey, they give you the cards. We can give you a free ride to insert place, and then you all get in the limo. And you did that a couple of times?
Every day I was there when I was there with the footy guys because there was a number of us.
Yeah.
And we were balling up big time. So we got a 24-person Hummer, stretch
Oh, yeah, the
to
stretch Hummer.
take us everywhere. And we rolled up to all these nightclubs, straight at the front.
Yeah.
And it's all been set up before, but it's a cost to you. And you just walk in there, they open the line, you just walk in, go absolutely mental.
Yeah. But also, all the people watching see this Hummer pull up, and then you guys get out and they're like, who's that? They're expecting legit superstar, American superstar.
Oh, yeah. No, I saw a lot of them. One time I was just there with one of my mates, Simon, and we were there just by ourselves. We went to this nightclub.
Just a lovely couple's holiday.
Yeah, it was. And I went up to this guy because he was a famous basketballer. People were talking to him, and I thought I just thought I'd go up and say g'day and maybe get
And
a
tell him to
photo.
take it to the hole.
Yeah, that's my standard. And he basically palmed me off saying, I've got the wrong person, but it wasn't. It was a guy called Gary Payton. They called him the Glove.
It didn't
And
want
I
to
knew
part
him.
of it.
I knew what he looked like.
Yeah.
And he flagged me off.
Did you tell him you're a big docker?
Of course I did. Player swap cards? He said no. No, just kidding.
This too could be you, just living it up. You get 5
Getting
nights.
flogged off by celebrities.
What?
Okay, sorry.
Interesting choice of words. 5 nights in Vegas, which could just be the end of you. You can also get in the draw via the Nova Play or online at novafm.com.au.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
It's a Galati Party. Let's go. Nathan, Nat and Shaun are sorted for WA Day. Spudshed's open 24/7. Fresh produce, meat and seafood, even on public holidays. Find your local at spudshed.com.au.
Oh, WA Day is approaching, and nothing says WA Day. I can't say it. WA.
Way day.
WA Day. Like Tony Galati, if you don't mind. So this year with Spudshed, we're doing something extra special. We're throwing a Galati Party.
Now, we're going to take 5 callers this morning that will get a double pass to the party, plus $100 to spend at Spudshed. That's a whole lot of potatoes right
true.
there.
That's
Indeed
true.
it is. Next Thursday is the party, Tony Galati Party at Stories Rooftop. So all around the city, you're going to see a whole bunch of people dressed as Tony Galati walking through the city and somebody winning $5,000 on
That
the
is
night.
amazing.
This is the idea. We want a whole room full of Tony Galatis. And it's a cheap costume. Do you know what I mean? Like,
It
it's
is.
just the shorts, the blue sleeveless shirt, maybe a singlet.
Go with
Matt,
the
do you
bonds.
remember last year it was
Eyebrows.
the Nova? We had a Christmas party. It was in the city.
Yes.
Tony came along and he was leaving that to go to the Optus Stadium to the cricket because there was a whole heap of guys who dressed up as Galatis and he was
Yes.
going there to meet them and have photos. with
How
them.
good is
He's
it?
a ripper that way.
He is. He's bang up for it. And you know what? He's going to be there. The man
He is.
himself descending from the heavens, obviously, because that's how
He's having a papal visit and he's put that on hold to come and
Yes.
visit us.
That's how we hold him in such high esteem. If you would like to come along and you're prepared and ready to dress exactly like Tony Galati, well, let's extend an invitation to this young lady, Tracy from Forestfield. Morning, Trace.
Good morning, guys. How are you today?
We're wonderful, Trace. Now you're going to be coming along to our Galati Party.
And you've also scored $100 to spend at Spudshed.
Oh, that's great.
Excellent.
So that's nice too. Now, Trace, do you think you can embody the spirit of Tony Galati?
Oh, I could probably do the monobrow.
Yes.
I could definitely try and do that.
Yes.
Okay.
We're going to
Don't
need
know
the
if
outfit
I could do
too.
like the wife beater singlet though. Not sure of that.
Yeah, but he also does the sleeveless kind of work shirt.
Yeah, he does.
In
Like the
navy.
King G.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, get the guns out. I
Yeah.
could do that maybe.
Well, Trace, you're going to
Not
if
maybe,
you want a
Trace.
part of $5,000, you're going to have to.
Yeah, you got to be dressed up to be in the running for the 5G.
In the running for the $5,000. Yeah, I'll give it a crack.
That's the spirit. That's what we're looking for, Trace. Well done.
Well done, Trace. Will and Butler coming along as well. Emma Balcatta, Amy Melville, Cheryl in Mount Lawley all got invites.
All right,
Cool.
they've all got the Galati in them too.
This is the Nathan, Nat, and Shaun podcast.
There's a real differential between boys and girls when you've got young kids in your household,
Sure.
particularly teenagers and probably getting a little bit older than that.
Yeah.
So my daughter's really neat and tidy. You go into her room, everything's
In its place.
Yeah, in
and,
its place. And, she brushes her hair 100 times a day. And
I'm
all
just
that
here to
kind of
tell you that's not always the case with teenage
Okay,
daughters,
yeah,
but
yeah.
keep going. You've got a good one.
So last night, to my oldest boys, my oldest son comes home and he needed me. It was his girlfriend's birthday yesterday.
Yes.
So the number one thing, Megan did all the wrapping of the presents and organising of the card and stuff like that. So
Well,
boys
Megan
are
is
still
very,
hopeless in that way.
is very on board with this girlfriend. She really,
Oh, yeah.
wants her to stick around, so it's in her interest that
Yeah.
she's happy.
Yeah, I say leave Rosie alone. Her name's Rosie. She's beautiful. Leave Rosie alone, mate. They're not going to break up because of Lachlan. They're going to break up because of you.
And not because you don't like her, because you like her too much.
Yeah. And then the younger son, Ollie, he comes home footy. Most nights he's got footy training. He comes home later after we've had dinner. And I always ask him to do the least amount of work in the kitchen because most of the time we've cleaned it and everyone's gone off to the room.
So he
and
has to
watched
do the
TV.
bare minimum.
Bare
right?
minimum. So last night, I go, before you go to bed, make sure you clean the breakfast bar. And there was only a couple of things on it. I made a prawn laksa thing. Was I talking to you about this the other day?
No.
Oh. Anyway, I
Who are you
made this
talking
thing.
to about your laksa? Keep going.
I left out that you can put in the laksa was bean sprouts,
Yes.
a couple of other little bits and
Yes.
pieces. The only thing he needed to put away last night was the bean sprouts and put his bowl in the dishwasher.
So all you had to do is
That's it.
pick up the bean sprout, the packet of bean sprouts, and put it in the fridge. That's
Yes.
it. And
Yep.
then take his bowl that he'd eaten from
Yep.
and put it in the dishwasher. Couldn't do it.
I got up this morning and when I was going into the cupboard to get some protein powder, there was some bean
He
sprouts.
put them in the
He put them in the cupboard.
How do these people function in life?
I don't know.
In his defence, they might have been warm by the time he got to him, and he just figured, let's the room
No,
temperature.
you look at a
Bean
bean sprout and go,
sprouts
that needs
in
to
the
be
cupboard.
refrigerated. Like, you use your
I would have
common
thought
sense.
so.
No, it happens. I could see
I
that.
think it's just teenage boys. They just don't take anything in. We've all been one.
And legit don't care.
They don't care.
There's no consequence to
It
that.
just shocked me.
The only consequence for him for that action
Yeah.
is that you talk about it on the radio. That's it.
Yeah, when he's asleep.
Yeah. Oliver McManus. We'll use his full name.
That's
Yeah.
Bean
just in
sprouts
case.
in the cupboard.
Yeah.
Yeah, righto,
No,
mate.
Okay.
It's not that hard. Put it in the
He
fridge.
literally, when you say that saying you had one job, he literally had one job and he screwed it up. Great work.
This is the Nathan, Nat, and Shaun podcast.
A couple of young women were touring around Bali just recently, Karina and Bella, and they'd been going to various places to stay at, and they decided it's time to up the tempo here now and
Yes.
stay at a nicer place.
Oh, yeah. So like a fancy villa.
Yeah,
That's.
so-
That is the best. That's the Balinesian dream, isn't it, Shaun?
Yeah, it definitely is. And so they booked into a nice villa, and as I was travelling around, they go, okay, let's go to this place tomorrow. We're going to get there early, and because they've been travelling around, and we're really going to enjoy the whole day.
They're going to lap it up,
make every moment
because they've splurged on this place. Yeah.
So they roll into this villa, and first thing they do when they got there, they reckon that they were hot and sweaty, and it's been pretty muggy over that way. They just thought, we're going to strip off and jump into the pool. We've got a beautiful villa with a pool.
Celebrating the fact, you know.
Money.
Yeah.
So they jumped in. Next thing you know, they're yelling and screaming and having a good old time. Next thing you know, this guy comes out of a room that looks like it's just to the side of this pool.
Yeah.
And says,
what are you doing?
What is going on here?
Well, no, he didn't. He stood and watched for a while.
He did. He certainly did.
He's like, where are you from?
It turns out this private villa apparently was not private at all.
The villa might be private, but the pool's not.
It's not a pool. No, it's a shared pool.
You really want to check that before you start skinny dipping.
Oh, were they naked?
Yeah, no.
They were wearing bathers.
No,
okay.
No, they're in the nutty.
They were in the nutty.
Yeah, that's what they take.
Why would you do that anyway?
Because they were hot.
Yeah,
and also, like the temperature was quite warm.
Yeah, and you think you're by yourself, Ross, so you just do that.
I'm by myself all the time. I don't go naked.
Do you?
Sometimes.
Did that turn quick, Nat? Hey, look at that. You folded like a cheap 10, Ross.
Rapidly. I mean, that is the danger of when you think something is... when you think you're in private and it turns out that other people can see you.
I did worry about that last night. I was dropping my son off, and my older son Lachlan, he asked me to drop him somewhere last night, and I was just in some short shorts. Yeah, because I was about to go to bed.
Oh,
and that came across my mind.
Your tidy whities, driving around the street.
But at our house, many times people have jumped into the pool, and you've come out in the backyard, and they've walked through with their friends, and
like, who are you?
Yeah, and you're not wearing much.
I've stayed in a hotel in New York where, and it was beautiful, and the view was amazing, and there was a very discreet little kind of plaque with some writing on it in the window. So when you went over to the window to like close the curtains or whatever, you could see this little plaque, and it said something along the lines of, "We wish to advise you that." That people from the outside, if your light is on, can see in. So clearly the neighbours have complained about everybody just soaking up the view, but also then deciding to get it on with their partner, and that the neighbours are getting a full-on show.
I was at a work gig, I think it was Queensland, and the after party was in a high-rise balcony kind of thing.
Yes.
And my apartment where I was staying was directly opposite that, in the building opposite that. So I went home early, and then I'm getting getting text messages from my colleagues saying, "We can see you."
What were you doing, Ross?
I was just getting down to the undies.
Who's alone?
I was about to
stripping off for the audience.
Yeah. But I mean, the apartment thing, you see a lot of things, right?
Yeah, you do. There's what's the rooftop bar on the old Melbourne? There's an apartment. Yeah. When you're out there, apartment straight across. You can literally watch what the tenants or the residents are watching on TV. You can see it that clearly. It's like, imagine a whole rooftop of people just watching your every move.
Well, we want to talk about it if you thought something was private, but it turns out it was public or people were able to see, you know.
Have you been in this sort of situation? You didn't have to have been nude, but perhaps you were. Sarah's in Bedfordale. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Sarah.
All right, Sarah. When did you think you were in private, but it turns out you're a bit on the public side?
We built a new house, and the actual house was higher up than the house behind us.
Yeah.
So when you looked out at their house, our fence line was what they could see at the underneath of the fence. So I made friends with her through the kids at school and went round there for a coffee, say a couple of months later.
Yeah.
And her phone rang, and we've got a spa. And I sort of wandered around the house and walked outside, and I looked under the fence and looked sort of at eye level, and I could see our spa, and I'm like, oh no.
What had you been doing in that spa, Sarah?
So it wasn't until she went out of the room to answer the phone you thought, I'll just have a look around, you know.
And you look out the window, and I'm like, no. And anyway, she came off the phone, and I said, "You can see straight into our garden." She went, "Yes." I went, "No."
Sarah, what had you been getting up to in that spa?
Some shenanigans?
We never wore clothes in the spa. neither of us wore clothes in the spa. It was just, we thought it was private. It was going to be warm.
Yeah.
Day. It was great. I have never been so embarrassed. I didn't know what to do.
So did you say to her, "Oh, you've seen my boobs, haven't you?" Is that what you said?
Well, kind of, yeah, not exactly, but yes, I knew
Yeah.
she'd seen
That
my
was the
boobs.
gist.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sarah's really, yeah.
that's mortifying.
No. Close neighbours.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We
Close
did
in the
lose
spa.
eventually.
I thought I'd come over and get to know you. I know a lot about you, actually. So.
I've seen a side of you and your husband. Sarah, that's mortifying. Thank you. Rachel's in Bellevue. Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Morning,
Oh,
Rach.
Rach, when did you think you were in private, but you weren't?
Well, I had a similar story to the other lady. Was my partner and I booked an overnight stay down in Fremantle in this lovely little old cottage, which is very eccentric. And we'd gone in there to the main house, and there's two sections of the house. So it wasn't just a room. The other part of the other side of the house was a whole separate house. So we were under the impression that that's what we had got, and we were like, awesome. So we were having a romantic weekend, and there was stairs and there was an open balcony. We were wandering around the place, butt naked, making good use of the space.
Say no
Yeah,
more.
yeah,
We're reading
okay.
between the lines.
Where we went to the breakfast the next morning. The lady of the house, because there's another area where other guests stay. Well, they didn't tell us that there was other people staying in that part of the house. So we were walking around in the space that we thought wasn't common.
So it was a shared common space.
Oh, Rachel.
So it was really embarrassing. Needless to say, we didn't sit at the breakfast table. We were so embarrassed. The lady made a comment on how so cool we were, and I thought, oh my God, I'm dying. But yeah, it was quite embarrassing. And thank goodness we didn't lock eyes with the other people. I think they were a bit upset. And
They didn't come out of their rooms,
Yeah,
Rach.
they refused to touch the kitchen benches for a while.
Oh my God, they're on the stairs. Oh my God, they're in the bathroom.
Stairs.
Having a bit of a Bridgerton moment. Yeah.
Well, mate, most of those Airbnbs.
Wow. Yeah. They're too scared. They're just locked in their rooms going, we can't go out there. That is
That's good.
super awkward. Thank you, Rachel. Andrew's in Sorrento. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good,
Great, Andrea. Talk to us. When did you think you were in private but you weren't?
So we just built a house, and it's got these big glass double doors at the back, and we'd also got a granny flat out back.
Cool.
But we hadn't had anyone stay in the granny flat before because it was a newly built house.
Yep.
And my husband sleeps in the nude. So my friend came down from Broome, and she works odd hours because she's a nurse.
Yep.
And I get a text message one morning saying, please tell your husband to stop eating cheesels in the middle of the night, and for God's sake, put some pants on.
So he, in the middle of the night, gets up, needs a snack, just sits there nude eating cheesels.
Standing at the kitchen bench.
Standing,
eating cheesels.
yeah. I think standing
Because you
is
turn the
worth.
light, she could see.
Yeah, you can see in. That's the thing. If the light's on but it's dark outside, everybody can see in. And it's like a beacon. It's like a spotlight on you. And you're
Could see
cheesels eating.
everything.
What was he more ashamed of? Eating cheesels in the middle of the night, or has that your friend saw his doodle?
I think it was the cheesels.
That's true, it doesn't it?
He's put
It's a
those
whole
rings.
separate shame, isn't it?
This is the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
Shaun, I've taken offence at what you're doing now. Because all of a sudden you've started eating toast and peanut butter.
I've become a bit addicted to it.
Yeah, 2 pieces, and you bring it in, and you'd like to take a bite of it just before we go on air, and then the peanut butter's all stuck to the roof of your
starts
mouth, and you
calling me.
can't talk properly.
Yeah. As
but
opposed to?
I'm a little bit shocked that you paragon of fitness,
Yeah.
you put butter and peanut butter on your toast.
Always have.
Always should.
Not.
I
We
could
should
never
not.
ha-
But it's butter. You're putting butter on butter. It's double fat. You don't need it.
Peanut paste, Natalie.
It's not peanut paste. It's called peanut butter. You know that.
Too dry with just the peanut
It's
butter.
not.
Thank you, Ross.
It's not.
Yeah,
It's
Thank
not.
you, Ross.
The butter soaks in, then the peanut butter is like the second layer.
If you had
Grow up.
a crumpet, would you just put the spread on top?
What's the spread?
Peanut paste?
Yes?
Nah, it's silly.
Nah, because you got to fill the holes with butter.
Yeah, but
And then
the peanut butter fills the holes.
Hey, Nat, let's take
It's
a
in
vote.
the name.
Butter and peanut butter?
Aye.
No, you two don't count.
Nah.
It's
Can we
like
throw
two
this up and
children.
get people's opinion?
Yes, we will.
Waste of time. They're going to agree with us.
I reckon. Don't you
A
reckon?
waste of time. Everybody agrees. You don't need it,
in
Shaun.
other
You're
spreads
supposed to
and-
be. You're somebody who's very
That's
body
why I have
conscious.
to go to the gym, because I prefer to eat this.
Yeah, fuels you to go. I get it.
That's right. Do the crime, do the time.
That's it.
We'll put it on our socials and everybody can have their say and you'll realise that I'm right.
Other spreads? Are you across the board no butter with other spreads?
It depends what the other spread is, but I can have... I don't eat toast very often at all anymore, but Vegemite with no butter I can do. But I prefer it with butter, but I can do it without butter.
Oh,
yeah, I know. I know.
Nice as Sahara. Not for me.
Neither.
Are you going to take a bite now?
Yep.
Do it.
Oh, he's eating the crust as well. What a weirdo. Let's get on to that next.
Nathan, Nat, and Shaun podcast. Last quarter.
Spend more time doing you things, like cheering Freo from the Bankwest best seats.
All right, here we go. It is last quarter time up for grabs. We've got 2 premium Bankwest best seats to see the Fremantle Dockers take on Port Adelaide this Saturday. That means premium seating, food and drinks are all included.
First quarter is going to see Pam versus John. We'll start with you, Pam. How do you win the last quarter, Pam?
Hi, I'm actually driving, so I'm going to have to get my husband to do it for me.
Wow, Pam.
Because I can't put it on speaker. Is that okay?
Yeah,
We're
Pam,
just
okay.
members, so we need it, okay?
Okay.
All right, I'll put Merv on. Just a sec.
Love Merv. Swerving Mervin.
Hi, guys.
Merv.
Swerving Mervin. How do you win the last quarter?
Oh, no.
Sorry?
How do you
win the last quarter, Swerving Mervin?
How did I win the last quarter?
How do you win the last quarter?
Oh, this game, we've got number
Merv.
one rated.
Nah, you've
Number one
screwed
rated
it.
halfback line in the.
No, Merv.
the ball.
Sorry, we're going to have to find an...
Yeah.
Nah, you're out.
You've got to know how to win the last quarter in order to play the last quarter. So we wish
You all
Pam
the
and
best.
Merv all the best. We'll go to John in Mount Pleasant. Morning, John.
Good morning. You win the last quarter by winning the last quarter.
John, you can stay.
Ah, we all feel for Merv. He was thrown into it.
He was
Yeah, it
literally
was-
thrown on the bus then.
Yeah, that was
What am I ringing for? We're trying to win tickets.
John, you're
Get
up
on.
against in the first quarter of the last quarter. You're up against Diana from the Vines. Morning, Di.
Morning.
How do you win the last quarter, Di?
You win the last quarter.
I mean, I can't believe that the entire Perth population doesn't know this by now.
Did that seem a little mean before?
A little bit, but also we made these rules. We've got to
Hey.
stick to them.
Yeah,
we
that's
can't
right,
just
that's
make
right.
exceptions because his name was Merv.
Exactly.
I mean, I wanted to.
Oh, me
It's a
too.
Merv. You don't
Love
come
a
across
Merv.
a Merv every day. You know what I mean?
Never let you down, a Merv.
John and Di, here's what's going to happen. Welcome to the first quarter of the last quarter. We're about to ask you a question. If you know the answer, buzz in with your name. If you get it right, you're through to the second quarter. Get it wrong, we bid you farewell. Let's test your buzzers.
Okay.
John, Diana.
Diana.
Di's is going off early. All right, it's first quarter time. Here we go.
Here's the question. Which artist released the 2024 hit single Texam Hold'em?
Diana.
Yes, Diana.
Beyonce.
Yes, Diana, even though Shaun mispronounced it.
I might say that was
Was that the peanut butter? Yeah, okay. Diana, you're through to the second quarter. Goodbye, John. In the second quarter, you're taking on Katie from Success. Good morning, Katie.
Good morning.
Okay.
How do you win the last quarter, Katie?
You win the last quarter.
Man, I can't believe poor Merv. Merv's kicking himself.
I know.
Let's test your buzzer, Katie.
Katie.
Well done.
Righto.
All right. Here is the second quarter question. What number does Nat Fife wear for Fremantle?
Katie.
Katie.
Oh, is it 9?
Goodbye, Katie.
See you later, Katie.
It's number 7.
Number
Diana.
7.
You're through to the third quarter.
Who wears number 9, Natalie?
Harley Reid. Oh, wrong team. Sorry.
What
was
Jackson?
Pav?
Luke
Pav's
Jackson,
29.
get on board. Luke Jackson, where are you? Where are you?
Sorry.
Hello, Courtney.
here.
Welcome to the game.
Hello.
Hey, Courts.
Courtney, how do you win the last quarter?
You win the last quarter.
2
That's
right.
right.
You do.
Courts, who's your footy team?
Freo.
There you
Yes.
go. All right. Did you know what number Nat Fife wears?
I've said everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Number
of
7.
course. Yeah, it's obvious.
It's 1,
isn't
2
it?
Brownlows.
Hey, Courtney, test your buzzer, please. Courtney.
Courtney.
Working well. Third quarter, Di v. Courtney. Let's go.
Here we go. Which AFL club is nicknamed the Blues?
Diana.
Oh, Courtney.
Carlton Blues.
Yes, it is the
Carlton
Carlton
Blues.
Blues. Bye, Di. That was about, great effort. Courtney, you're through to the last quarter. We're going to be taking on Michelle from Chidlow. Good morning, Michelle.
Hello.
Now, Michelle, how do you win the last quarter?
Well, you win the last quarter.
You do. Where are we, Michelle?
I'm on the Reed Highway.
Also, Michelle, we're in the last quarter.
You're in the last quarter.
Yeah,
Oh, what's traffic like, Michelle?
You know how to win it.
Sounds
Also,
terrible.
that's
Red
where we are.
highlight.
Michelle, test your buzzer. Michelle.
Michelle.
Can you drop me a pin, Michelle? I just want to make sure that... Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she wouldn't lie to us about that,
No,
would
she
she? Okay, it is the last quarter. Courtney v. Michelle for the match. Which country gave the world the dessert creme brulee?
Michelle.
Michelle for the win.
France.
Michelle's done it, everybody. That's how you win the last quarter. Tell Michelle what she's won, Ross.
You got yourself 2 premium Bankwest Best Seats, Freo Dockers versus Port Adelaide this Saturday. Premium seating, food and drinks undercover.
Yes.
You're going to love it, Michelle. Have a brilliant time.
Thanks so much.
You gave it a good stab, Courtney.
Yeah,
No joy,
unlucky.
I'm afraid. You and Merv can commiserate together.
Paul, and Merv's going to be coughing it because his wife would be like, he just saw
I know,
this
but
out.
Pam
just gave him the phone. That was
Pam
a-
threw him under the bus.
Big time.
Yeah.
There's going to be words in that household for the rest of the day, that's for sure.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
What a way to go out with a bang. You may have seen this story. There is an Upper House Labor MP from WA, Kyle McGinn.
Never heard of him.
Kyle McGinn, where's he from? Where's he from?
Goldfields.
His constituents, I believe, are the Goldfields, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, cool.
So he had his, they call it the valedictory speech,
Yeah.
where he wraps up in Parliament. So it's like the full, in Parliament, it's you stand up, they tell you can speak and stuff like that. And this is his goodbye, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, can I just,
Swan
before we
song.
get to that, his swan song,
Yep.
we've just had an election.
Yeah, he's upper house though, so maybe I don't know.
Oh,
if it's
Senate,
any-
so okay, 6 years.
Yeah.
Okay. And before he even started, so it was 56 minutes he spoke for, but before he started, people must have thought something was going to happen because I don't think it's called the speaker, but the equivalent speaker.
No, I think it is called the speaker.
Okay, great. Said this. So this is her kind of like warning before he started his thing.
This is the valedictory speech of the Honourable Kyle McGinn, and I point out that the usual courtesies and convention of the House apply.
So like, hey, just a heads up, just be cool. That's what I got.
And he's like,
He's got a reputation.
I'm from Kalgoorlie.
Yeah.
So what are they going to do? Kick me out because
Yeah.
I'm finishing?
Yeah. So
Okay.
first thing he does is he takes off his shoe, and he does it, and then he speaks for 56 minutes.
56 minutes, by the way.
Yeah.
No one's heard of you. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, why all of a sudden do you feel a need to talk for 56 minutes?
If you're going out, you may as well take 56 minutes.
No, short, sharp, get it done.
bore yourself.
A tight 5.
This is how, now it all made sense at the end when he finished with his one shoe. This is how he wrapped up his final time in Parliament.
I thought so long and hard about how I will finish this speech, and my constituents in the Goldfields, I think, will be particularly appreciative. There was only one way to do it, and I'm used to getting told off, so we might as well get this over and done with. But I would like to say to the members and the constituents across WA, thank you for 2 fantastic terms.
He pulls out a beer at this point and pours it
Order,
into his
members.
shoe and
Order.
does a shoey.
The Honourable Kyle McGinn will take his seat. Now,
Put your shoe back on.
He had a tinny. He got a tinny, cracked it open, poured it in his black fancy dress shoe, and just necked it.
Yeah. I mean, you don't need to be told twice that he's from Kalgoorlie, but also, I mean, it could have been worse. He could have pulled a brown eye. So
Yeah.
we know what they're capable of out there.
Wow.
Anyway, we know him now. Well done.
We know him.
Yeah, and now he's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bloody good pension, though. Well done.
Yeah, good
Shoeies
job.
galore.
Good job, son.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
Oh, Nat, I'm gone. I'm gone.
You know why? Because you had too much butter with your peanut butter. On the show tomorrow, Guy Sebastian is going to be joining us, fresh off his footballing injury, Shaun.
Yeah, I know. I can't wait to ask him about the football industry because it went Australia-wide.
Yeah, that was full on, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's huge. Jerry McGovern too, which is a big deal at the moment with Jez and whether his career is going to be, on ice from here on in because of
extraordinary, isn't
concussion. We'll be able to ask him all those questions,
Yep,
which will
and
be
the
a great
last
insight.
quarter will be back. And as we learned today, Sam, you've joined us now. How do you win the last quarter, Sam?
You win the last quarter.
I know. Merv did not know that. And Merv, who was just thrust into it by his wife Pam, passed the phone over and said, Merv will have to play. Clueless. Merv's giving advice to the Fremantle Football Club about their
Poor
back
guy.
line.
He did have a good point though. Yeah, he was on the money, but couldn't quite get it. Luckily, I've got some tickets to give away today. You don't have to do anything. You just got to call through, so they'll get a little bit later
They're
this
not
morning.
Bankwest Best seats, though, are they?
No, just GA, but they'll get you there. But
That's enough for you, Merv.
And Sam, before we let you go, peanut butter with butter on toast.
Big believer in butter.
Case closed.
all
Fat on
threads.
fat. You're tall and skinny though.
Oh, look at the
I was
rig on him,
thinking,
mate.
it must be me and Shaun, us, because we got these
Exactly.
big muscles.
They
I
get
think
that
that's
overnight.
right. Yeah.
Sean's, letting himself
Builds a
go,
gym.
clearly.
Builds a gym.
Nathan, Nat, and Sean is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au. Nova.